So one evening, I was getting ready, or I was beginning my evening batch of Ubering. So, in other words, I wasn't very far from my home in Santa Barbara. And I get a call not that far away. And again, I was lifting, like I've said in the previous videos, I only did Uber for like a month. But anyway, so I get a call from not that far away. And I think that this was before they let you know how long the rides were. So that's like an update that came later. These tech companies are always revamping their platforms. But I say that because it wasn't until I showed up, said that I was here, and then the ride popped up that I realized, oh shit, this guy wants to go all the way to San Diego. It's a 4-hour drive from Santa Barbara to San Diego. And usually when it's a ride like that, like a really long ride, this is the longest ride that I had by far. But I mean, I've had hour, 2-hour rides before. And usually when that happens, the passenger will say something. They'll ask you if it's okay. They are so used to getting turned away because it is a long ride. But this guy, he just like, I remember he checked. It happened so quickly. He checked the license plate, threw his stuff in the car, and then hopped in. And I had already decided that I was going to give him a ride. I didn't really, I guess I'll be honest, I just saw the dollar figure and I didn't calculate that the 4 hours driving back was probably, was just going to be nothing. That was, just totally, and again, I had a Prius, so it's not like it mattered, but the time, the time. So again, I just saw that dollar figure. I'd already decided. He hops in and I don't know, confirms who I am or whatever, and we head off. So I, like most of my passengers, started chatting with this guy. I'm trying to say as little as possible because this guy trusted me. He said he trusted me, and I take that seriously. I don't want to say anything that he told me in confidence. But this guy owned a business. He owned a business that was 4 hours away, and he had like places in both cities, very nice places. And he started telling me about building his business and kind of the deals that he made and the different partnerships. Again, I'm not even going to get into what industry it was. Not what you would think. I will say that he had a very, very particular niche and a very particular, specific, unique set of abilities. And I was so fascinated by this guy. We were just chatting, asking questions. And at some point in the ride, I mean, we took a couple breaks. It was a 4-hour ride, right? And at some point during the ride, I asked him, I was like, why are you telling me this? And I even at one point, I'll be honest, I said, how can I get involved in this enterprise? And he was, again, so polite and so nice. I guess brought me down gently. He said, oh, well, we don't have any positions right now, whatever. But again, without saying too much, the enterprise that this guy built, and mind you, I guess I had to take him for face value, but it's, right, take it with a grain of salt, rather. But there's also a part of me that's like, who flexes on the Uber driver? And I'll you know what I mean? And again, I had reason to believe this guy. He was so fascinating. And again, I want to take what he told me in confidence. I want to take it seriously. I want to remain trustworthy, so I'm not going to say anything else. But that ride, like, he slept for a couple hours, 1 or 2 hours, and it like ended just as quickly as it began, right? Like, he hops right out just as quickly as he hopped in. But I just remember feeling like I had never, it was rare that I had been in the presence of such a higher, not even higher achieving, but straight up like higher vibrational individual. Like this, unless his aura and his energy was he just knew how to completely fool people, this was a genuine solid person with good morals, with good values. And I had a lot of respect for that. And I just remember thinking, wow, like I wish I could find more people like that. And anyway, this was years ago. You know, you do have to find and seek out those people. And you know, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. I've learned that many times over. But anyway, that was my longest ride. It was a low-key miserable drive back because I didn't have him entertaining me, and it was lonely, and it was, yeah, it was all dark. But I don't regret that ride one bit, because just being in the presence of that guy and just like hearing all his tips and hearing how he built his business and hearing like what he had to overcome and the decisions that he made, like that was all very beneficial. So anyway, that's the longest ride I ever gave while I was a Lyft driver.